Hi guys, my name is Stephanie and I am here today to tell you about the 11 home updates that I wouldn't do again. So these aren't recommendations. I don't want you to change the way you do things in your house. These are just things that I've decided I don't want to do in my home anymore. They're personal opinions, personal reasons. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to do them anymore. Let's talk about it. The first home update that I regret is using marble tile in our master bathroom. So I love the look of marble tile. I love the way this turned out. But it is a little bit harder to clean marble tiles. It becomes a maintenance issue. I have to buy more expensive cleaning products because certain things can't be used on marble or it could cause etching or yellowing. So in future bathrooms, I won't be using marble again. I'll go with something that's easier to maintain and that I can clean with pretty much any bathroom product. The second home update that I regret is installing blinds on almost every window in this house. This house was built with extra tall or extra long windows. They go almost to the ground. So the blinds were really expensive, so the cost was a little bit higher than I would have liked anyway, but cleaning them is such a pain. You have to individually clean every blind in this type of blinds. They get coated with dust. You have to be really careful because if you use any sort of wet cleaner on it, you're going to get the string in between the blinds, a darkened, gross color. So it's just a pain. I wish I had gone with curtains or maybe those flat roller blinds. I've never had those. Let me know in the comments. Are those actually easy to clean? Do they collect dust like other blinds? Maybe I just stick with curtains from now on. I'm not sure. The third home update that I wouldn't do again is installing wood floors or engineered wood floors in the South. I had this flooring installed in a few different rooms in my house, and within 2 years, they were already ruined in pretty much every room because of hurricanes coming through and water being pushed through our weep holes into the house, just along the baseboard. We had a little bit of water damage to those floors. They were peeling up. The finish was peeling off of it. The floors were popping off the concrete slab. So even just leaving my front door open one time when I was refinishing my front door for a few hours from the hot Texas sun, it baked the flooring. It got so hot that it popped off that glue that's there. I love wood flooring up north. If I was living in Cincinnati still, wood flooring everywhere. But in the South, I think it's better to do wood look tile, other types of tile, or maybe a luxury vinyl tile or a luxury vinyl floor. I think that's a safer option in places that get hurricane damage, flood damage, low-lying places that have no basements and slabs like I have here. And tile and luxury vinyl flooring is so much easier to maintain. So I've switched away from the wood and the engineered wood flooring. I'm on to those other ones. Let's stick with flooring for the next home update that I would not do again, and that is installing carpeting. So when I installed this carpeting, I did it on purpose. I'm not a huge fan of carpeting, but I knew I was starting a family. I've had 2 little boys on this carpet, and I wanted to make sure that in the areas that little babies would be playing in, I had nice, soft, thick carpet for them to run around and play on. But now that they're in elementary school, I don't need carpet anymore. I don't think I'll ever install it again. And that's only because carpet is just so much harder to keep clean. It traps a lot of dirt and stuff in it. I've ripped enough carpeting out of homes that I know how gross carpet can get after a few years of use. We've had this carpet for 12 years. It's past its prime. The next home update that I wouldn't do again is installing a barn door. I wanted to block off the view of my laundry room from my kitchen and also deaden the sound of the washer dryer when it's running, but a barn door does not do a good job of blocking off the sound, and people kept trying to walk through the door like it was a normal door, which would knock it off its track constantly. So I had to remove it. I'm trying to figure out something else I can do in there. Okay, number 6 for home updates I would never do again. Technically, I didn't do. When we moved in, this house had tons of flower beds all over the front and the backyard. We've removed some of them, but we still have a lot of flower beds, and they take me about 2 or 3 hours every week to keep weeding and trimming back all of the bushes and stuff. So if we ever move, we are definitely going to buy a house with a lot less yard, a lot less flower beds, and a lot less outdoor maintenance. So I'm over all of this outdoor work. I love this yard. It's beautiful. I'm not saying it's not, and I'm not being ungrateful, but it's a lot of work to do this every week, so I'm ready to give it up. Number 7 is building a big playhouse in my backyard. So I decided to build this playhouse in January of 2020. I started working on it the month before anybody knew about COVID. I worked on it for a few months after that, but during COVID and during all of that homeschooling time, my boys got into playing video games with their dad, who was working from home. So this playhouse doesn't get nearly as much activity or playtime as I thought it was going to get. You're only going to get a few years out of a playhouse anyway. So think about how big it's going to be, how permanent it's going to be, or how you're going to get rid of it before you put something this big in. Thankfully, the lower part of this playhouse is actually a shed where I store a bunch of extra equipment, but if it wasn't, I would be bummed that it was sitting unused all the time. So a swing set like the one I built here is probably a much simpler, easier idea and easier to get rid of for most people. Number 7 for home updates that I wouldn't do again is kind of related to the furniture choices that I made in this house. This fabric is fun for cats to tear up. So I would not be choosing this sort of fabric in the future. I have 2 cats of my own. I foster cats from time to time, like this kitten here. And so far, none of these cats have gone after my velvet furniture or my microfiber furniture. So from now on in the future, I'm going to stick with that type of fabric since they don't seem to like to tear it up the way they do with other fabrics. For the 9th home update that I won't be doing again, it is applying caulking in the corners of showers like you see here. I quit doing this about 10 years ago, and ever since then, I've never had issues with mildew being trapped in corners of my showers like I used to get when I had caulking there. The caulking would trap that moisture sort of behind the caulk, between the grout and the caulk, and I would get mildew and I'd have black caulk lines eventually, and I'd have to scrape out that caulking. So I quit using it, and I never have issues. I just use whatever my mildew cleaner is in my shower, and my grout always looks great. The 10th home update that I won't be doing again is using dark colors on walls or going for beige curtains and fabrics and curtains. It seems to make all of the rooms that I designed look much darker. I've ended up using white in most rooms these days, and I like how it brightens the room instantly. It makes all of the colors that I put in the room pop. White walls just help to simplify things too. So whenever I want to change things in the future, like the decor in the room, I don't have to worry about the wall color when I'm deciding what I want. All right, the last home update that we would not do again in a home is installing a pool. So again, this is a 25-year-old pool. We didn't install this, but we've been taking care of it for the last 12 years, and they're really expensive to take care of. Equipment's always breaking down. You always have to buy new pool chemicals. You're constantly having to clean it and repair things around the pool. And since we live in Texas, the pools stay open all year long here when nobody ever shuts their pool down. So we have to do this 12 months out of the year. It gets to be tiring. We would love to, in the future, if we move, have a house that doesn't have a pool in the backyard and maybe just have a neighborhood pool. That's it for the 11 home updates that I wouldn't do again. What's on your list? Tell me what you wouldn't do in your home again. This is all just personal opinion, so it doesn't matter if other people really love it. If you're tired of it, if you don't want to do it ever again, put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if you have any questions, as always, you can put those in the comments too, and I'll try to get to them when I get a chance. All right. Thanks, guys.